Imagine a hidden plan that shapes every decision, every thought, and feeling you have. This invisible force is not an abstract fate, but deeply within you. It resides in the boundless realm of the unconscious. What if, by uncovering this hidden world, you gain unprecedented insight into your true self? This understanding can transform your life in ways you never thought possible. Today, we will delve into the groundbreaking ideas of Carl Gustav Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist whose revolutionary ideas influenced psychology, philosophy, and literature. His concept of archetypes explains universal images and symbols. They live in the collective unconscious and help us understand ourselves and the world around us much more deeply. We will explore how archetypes govern our thoughts and behavior. Archetypes, such as the hero, the shadow, and the wise old man, often guide us without our awareness. The final part of the journey reveals the power of integrating the unconscious with consciousness. Stay with me. This understanding will change your perception of life. Let's embark on a journey into the depths of the human psyche and uncover secrets that can change your life forever. The path to self-knowledge, empowerment, and deep awakening begins with understanding that much of human behavior is driven not by consciousness, but by unconscious forces. Carl Jung argued that we often do not realize these forces that shape our actions. This was a radical departure from the views of his teacher, Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud saw the unconscious as a repository of repressed desires and childhood traumas, while Jung expanded this idea. Jung proposed the concept of the collective unconscious, a universal layer of the mind that connects all people through archetypal images. Archetypes are recurring motifs in stories, myths, and dreams that reflect universal human experiences and emotions. For example, a hero embarking on a dangerous journey, a mentor providing wisdom, or a shadow embodying our darkest fears. Jung argued that archetypes are not merely literary devices or cultural artifacts, but deeply rooted structures in the psyche. They influence our choices and shape our perception of the world around us, guiding our decisions and actions. Think about your life. Haven't you felt an inexplicable attraction to certain roles or recurring patterns? Perhaps you strived for success despite all difficulties, embodying the hero archetype, or experienced moments of inner struggle and doubt. Inner conflict arises when parts of your personality are in contradiction with each other. This is the classic encounter with the shadow, according to Jung. These archetypes, Jung believed, manifest in our dreams, relationships, and even in the stories that attract us. They serve as our guides. Archetypes help us navigate the complexities of life, but at the same time can become traps, keeping us in cycles of unconscious behavior. Jung's idea of individuation, the process of integrating the unconscious with consciousness, is the key to breaking free from these cycles. By becoming aware of the archetypes operating within us, we can begin to harness their power rather than be controlled by them. This is where the true work of self-discovery begins. Here you will also find tools to unlock your potential. To truly understand archetypes, you need to study them in detail. The hero, for example, represents the part of us striving for achievement and growth, overcoming great obstacles. Think of iconic characters like Luke Skywalker, Frodo Baggins, or even historical figures such as Martin Luther King Jr. They inspire us because they reflect an inner truth. The path of growth is universal and often full of challenges. But what happens when the hero becomes authoritarian when the pursuit of achievement overshadows other aspects of life. This is where the shadow appears, the dark, hidden part of ourselves that we fear to accept. The shadow represents qualities we reject, fear, or suppress. Embracing the shadow is a difficult but necessary step in the process of individuation and inner growth. Consider which parts of yourself are difficult to accept. Is there a recurring fear, insecurity, or desire that you push away? It is important to recognize this. Jung taught that rejected parts do not disappear but remain in the unconscious, subtly yet strongly influencing our actions. Only acknowledging them leads to wholeness. Archetypes are not limited to the hero and the shadow. There are other powerful images, such as the wise old man or old woman, symbols of wisdom and guidance. Anima and Animus are the feminine and masculine energies within each person. These archetypes remind us of duality and the need for balance. Continuing on the path, we will explore these archetypes more deeply, learn how they affect our lives, and how to work with them consciously. Remember, this is a journey. Life is not linear but represents a spiral that with each turn leads us deeper into ourselves. Think about it carefully. What recurring patterns or roles do you notice in your life? Are you aware of how they influence your decisions and choices? By the end of this video, you will not only learn these archetypes, but also how to turn their influence into a source of strength and understanding. This is just the beginning of our journey into the depths of the unconscious. If you are ready to explore these profound concepts further, let's continue. Let's uncover the mysteries of the mind and dive deeper into the fascinating world of Carl Jung's archetypes and their influence on us. The hero and the shadow are just two of many archetypes that shape our lives and destinies. Another important figure in Jungian psychology is the persona. It is the mask we wear to navigate society. The persona is the version of ourselves that we show to the world, allowing us to adapt to social norms and expectations. It serves as a bridge between our inner self and the external environment, helping us find balance and understanding. Think about your daily life. Do you behave differently at work compared to close friends or family? This change in behavior reflects the work of the persona, showing how we adapt to different social situations. A person is often guided by their persona. It is a necessary and useful tool, but problems arise when we identify too strongly with it. If we rely too much on the persona, we risk losing connection with our true self, the deep essence hidden beneath the surface. Jung emphasized the importance of balance. The persona itself is not negative. It is necessary in every person's life. But when we allow the persona to dominate, we lose touch with our inner truth, leading to feelings of emptiness and dissatisfaction. It seems that we are living not our own life, but someone else's. Think about whether there are moments in your life when you wear a mask. Do you live in harmony with your true self? Or does the persona control your decisions more than you think? Another important archetype in Jung's works is the Anima and Animus, symbolizing the feminine and masculine energies in each person. The Anima is the feminine aspect within men, and the Animus is the masculine aspect within women. Jung believed that accepting these energies is necessary for psychological balance and personal growth. In modern terms, we can interpret Anima as the inner femininity and Animus as the inner masculinity. Animus and Anima are meant to help us embrace the full spectrum of human qualities. This is liberation from limiting gender norms and stereotypes. For example, a man can develop empathy intuition, and emotional vulnerability to connect with his anima. A woman, in turn, can exhibit independence, confidence, and analytical thinking to embrace her animus. Integrating these energies helps us become whole. We go beyond societal expectations and find a unique balance. Jung called this process individuation, a journey to the truest version of oneself. The self is an archetype embodying unity and wholeness, the highest goal of psychological development, and the harmonious integration of the conscious and unconscious. Jung described the self as the center of our psyche, like the sun at the center of the solar system, around which other archetypes revolve. These archetypes include the persona, the shadow, the animal, and the animus, all connected to the self. But here lies a paradox. The self is both the goal and the path itself. It is not a moment of achievement, but a lifelong process of growth, learning, and self-discovery. Jung believed that the path of individuation often requires courage and honesty with oneself to uncover the depths of one's soul. Life often begins with a crisis or a turning point. These moments, which can be called existential crises, force us to look inside ourselves and rethink our beliefs. They also require reconsidering the roles we play in life. Despite the difficulties, such experiences open up opportunities for deep transformation and personal growth. Think about your life. Have you ever had moments that made you stop and reflect on who you are and where you are going? Such events often become turning points. Although sometimes painful, these key experiences serve as catalysts for development and change. Jung recommended one of the tools for working with them: dream analysis. Dreams, in his opinion, are a direct window into the unconscious. They often contain archetypal symbols that provide clues about our inner state. For example, recurring dreams of being chased may indicate unresolved fears or anxieties. Flying dreams can symbolize a desire for freedom or transcendence. Jung advised paying attention to emotions and symbols in dreams, as they often reveal truths that the conscious mind cannot express. Life connects us all, which is why myths and stories from different cultures have striking similarities. Remember the flood myths in ancient Mesopotamia, India, and the Bible. These stories, separated by time and geography, reflect universal themes of destruction, renewal, and survival. This speaks to the deep interconnectedness of the human experience. This interconnected path of individuation is not only personal, but also universal. In trying to understand ourselves, we contribute to the understanding of humanity as a whole. Let me ask you, how often do you reflect on the connection between your experience and the world around you? And do you see yourself as part of a larger story? The shared human experience transcends individual life. Jung believed that embracing this perspective helps find meaning and purpose in life. This reminds us that our difficulties are not unique, but part of a larger journey that all humanity goes through together. In the next part, we will look at practical steps for working with archetypes and integrating them into your life. From journaling and meditation to mindfulness in everyday interactions. You will learn how to bring unconscious patterns to light and use them for good. Stay with me, as important revelations about yourself lie ahead. The transformative power will challenge everything you thought about personal growth. Let's continue this journey together, shall we? It is important to understand the work of Jungian archetypes. Working with archetypes is not just an intellectual exercise, It is an experiential process involving active engagement with your inner world and uncovering hidden truths. One of the most accessible ways to start is journaling. By writing down your thoughts, dreams, and reflections, you create a space for dialogue with your unconscious. Here are some journal questions to help you explore archetypes. What recurring themes or symbols appear in your dreams or daydreams? Are there qualities in you that you admire in others, but find difficult to embody yourself? What fears or insecurities do you avoid? Which myths, stories, or fictional characters resonate deeply with you, and why? These questions open a window into the unconscious. Archetypes manifest through these questions. For example, if you are drawn to characters like Frodo or Katniss Everdeen, you may be connecting with the hero archetype. This archetype is a part of you that strives to overcome difficulties and inner growth, showing courage and determination. Meditation is a powerful tool for connecting with archetypes. It calms the mind, directing attention inward, creating space for the voice of the unconscious and its manifestations. Visualization is especially effective. Imagine yourself in a symbolic place, such as a forest or temple. Allow archetypal figures to appear and interact with you. What do they look like? What messages or guidance do they give? Jung emphasized the importance of active interaction with inner figures, calling it active imagination. This practice requires entering a meditative or dreamlike state and engaging in dialogue with the figures. For example, upon meeting the shadow, you can ask it questions. What do you want to teach me? Why are you here? Such questions help turn abstract ideas into vivid personal experience and understanding. Now let's consider archetypes in more detail and their manifestations in everyday life. The shadow, for example, often appears in our relationships with others. Have you ever been annoyed by someone else's behavior, only to realize it reflects a quality you dislike or fear in yourself? This is called projection. Projection helps to understand how inner qualities manifest through others and to become more self-aware, which is important for personal growth and understanding. One way the shadow acts is when we reject parts of ourselves and see them reflected in other people. Jung urged us to take these projections back. Next time someone triggers a strong emotional reaction, stop and ask yourself, what does this situation reveal about me? What part of myself do I see here? Anima and Animus play an important role in relationships, especially romantic ones. Jung noted that we project these inner images onto our partners. We idealize partners or expect them to fulfill our inner needs, which actually come from within ourselves. This can create strong bonds but leads to disappointments if we don't realize that the qualities we seek in others already exist within us. For example, if you admire your partner's caring nature, perhaps your anima is calling you to develop more compassion and care in your own life. If you are attracted to someone's decisiveness, it may be your animus urging you to develop confidence and independence. By becoming aware of these dynamics, you move from unconscious projections to conscious gratitude. This does not mean suppressing your feelings. Immersing yourself in self-understanding begins with awareness of the persona, the mask we wear to interact in society. This mask is useful and practical, but can become a prison. The persona is not our true self. Consider the roles you play: employee, parent, friend, leader. Do they align with your true values, or are these roles imposed from outside and cause inner conflict? Jung believed that individuation is the process of shedding layers of the persona to reveal the true self. This requires honesty and courage. Sometimes it means changing your life, letting go of relationships and roles that no longer serve your growth, or embracing new paths that are closer to your true essence. The self is an archetype of wholeness, calling you to live sincerely and in harmony with yourself. It is not a pursuit of perfection. Jung emphasized, individuation is not about getting rid of flaws, but accepting them as part of the whole. Think of a tree. It is not only leaves and flowers, but also roots. Even twisted and tangled roots are important for growth. Likewise, your strengths and weaknesses, light and shadow, all together form you as a whole person. Part of what makes you whole is the path to yourself, which is very personal, but at the same time connects us to something greater than ourselves. Jung saw individuation as a sacred process that aligns us with the deep currents of life and the collective unconscious. When we accept our archetypes and integrate them, we not only transform our inner world, but also contribute to the collective growth of humanity. Think for a moment. What steps can you take to make the unconscious conscious in your life? Can you identify a recurring pattern, symbol, or archetype that has shaped your life path? Approaching the final part of this study, we will reveal how self-acceptance leads to profound transformation. The ultimate revelation ties everything together, offering a perspective that can change your perception of yourself and the world. Shall we continue? To truly accept yourself, you need to revisit the concept of individuation, a lifelong journey of integrating the conscious and unconscious. This path is neither linear nor simple. It is a process filled with challenges, self-discovery, and moments of deep insight. But the rewards of this path are extraordinary. A deep understanding of who we are and a stronger sense of self. The purpose of life is to live in harmony with our true nature. Let's start by debunking the key misconception that integrating the unconscious means fixing one's flaws. Carl Jung thought differently. He viewed the process of individuation as a path to wholeness, not perfection. Wholeness is the acceptance of all parts of oneself. One must accept both light and shadow, strengths and vulnerabilities, beauty and imperfection. Jung used a powerful symbol to describe this process: the mandala. In many spiritual traditions, mandalas symbolize the cosmos, unity, and balance. Jung noticed that patients often created mandalas in art or dreams. These circular patterns symbolize the self, the harmonious integration of all aspects of the psyche. Imagine your own mandala. What symbols and patterns does it contain? What colors, shapes, or images reflect your unique path to wholeness? This is an important question for reflection on the journey of individuation. How can one actively work on individuation in everyday life? The first step is awareness. You need to become conscious of the unconscious forces influencing your thoughts and emotions. This requires self-observation, understanding your reactions and behaviors, in order to gradually integrate all parts of the personality into a whole. Start with curiosity and compassion for yourself, without judgment or fear. Pay attention to recurring themes in your life, situations, or relationships where you feel stuck or in conflict. These recurring patterns often point to unresolved aspects of your unconscious. For example, frequent conflicts with authorities may indicate an inner struggle with the Animus or a suppressed desire for autonomy. Next, study your dreams. Dreams are some of the clearest windows into the unconscious. Keep a dream journal by your bed and write down any dreams you remember, even if they seem strange or fragmented. These symbols can reveal important truths about you. One of Jung's deepest ideas is that transformation begins with acceptance. This is not an easy task, because the shadow contains qualities we fear or dislike. But, as Jung said, gold is found in the shadow. Think about which parts of your inner world you avoid. What qualities do you refuse to acknowledge? Meeting the shadow is a step toward deep understanding and healing. Are you hiding from others or even from yourself? How would accepting these parts, not as flaws, but as integral elements of your personality, look like? An important part of individuation is balance. Archetypes within us often exist in pairs or opposites, such as the hero and the shadow, Anima and Animus. These dualities reflect the natural tension within the psyche. Jung believed that true growth comes from embracing this tension, not from prematurely resolving it. For example, the hero archetype drives us to achieve goals and overcome obstacles, while the shadow reminds us of our limitations and vulnerabilities. Both are necessary. The hero inspires striving for greatness, and the shadow keeps us grounded, preserving authenticity. Together they create a dynamic balance for growth, without losing oneself. This balance also concerns the interaction between the conscious and unconscious mind. Jung compared the unconscious to a vast ocean and the conscious mind to a small boat. The goal is not to conquer the ocean, but to learn to steer the boat, to work with the unconscious rather than fight against it. One way to achieve this is through creative self-expression. Art, music, writing, and other forms of creativity allow us to access the subconscious and release its knowledge. These activities do not have to be perfect or polished. Their value lies in the process, not the outcome. For example, you can draw or write without a specific goal. Let your intuition guide you. Or write a stream of consciousness in a journal, allowing thoughts to flow freely without censorship or restrictions. These practices can reveal amazing insights and help establish a connection with the deeper layers of your psyche, opening new horizons of self-understanding. As you approach the completion of this path, it is important to remember, individuation is not a destination, but a way of life, a way to be, and to constantly grow. It is the development of thinking based on openness, curiosity, and self-compassion, embracing paradoxes and contradictions within oneself. It is important to understand that these contradictions are not obstacles, but opportunities for growth, sources of strength and inspiration. The main conclusion of Jung's work is this: the subconscious should not be feared or avoided. It is a source of immense wisdom, creativity, and inner strength. By making the unconscious conscious, we not only change ourselves but also contribute to the development of the surrounding world and society. I appeal to the collective evolution of humanity and leave you with one final question. What steps will you take to embrace your journey toward wholeness? Do you listen to the archetypes within you, respect their lessons, and integrate their wisdom into your life? It is not an easy path, but a very important one. The path to oneself is a challenge, but it is deeply rewarding. It calls us to live with greater authenticity, meaning, and connection to ourselves, others, and the world. Perhaps this is the greatest journey of all. Your subconscious has long awaited the moment you take this first step. Will you answer its call? Thank you for watching.